This is Investing Insights with Barry Burnett, and this is not your average radio home show. This show is designed around the real world of entrepreneurial investments to make your portfolio stronger, safer, smarter. I'm your host, Barry Burnett, and tonight my special guest is Shawn Spurney.
Hello, Barry, and thanks for having me on.
Thank you, and I'm going to tell our listeners what we've got going for us. It's going to be a fabulous show. The situation today is risk management. We're going to talk about the kinds of things that when you prepare to buy additions to your portfolio or prepare to sell something in your portfolio or just operating, we're going to be in a situation where we're going to talk to fabulous experts, true professionals like Shawn Spurney.
Thank you very much.
Who will discuss how you, as an operator of your portfolio or someone who has hired property managers, can keep a real good thumb on your risk management. There are a lot of really crazy risks out there. Have you ever noticed anything when you're looking at properties, Shawn?
I'm inspecting so much what I'm going to call junk out there where poor investors are going in with untrained crews and doing illegal construction, unpermitted, just completely bass-ackwards to the current standards, and they're pushing junk. There's a lot of junk out there.
So, Shawn, why did I ask you on the show? Your background, you are a licensed contractor. You're
Correct.
Insured. You carry all of the necessaries.
Absolutely.
But in addition, you're also a physical inspector, and I've had you on hundreds and hundreds of my of my property transactions. Shawn Spurney, you operate a company called National 1000 Property Inspections.
That is correct, sir.
And I've used you hundreds of times. Why?
I can't figure that. Oh, I'm just kidding. You always count on me to bring you the correct report in the correct way, talk to your clients, to present the issues in a clear manner that's non-alarmist, give them, in my opinion, options as how they can solve these problems, and determine if this is the right property for them.
You've been to hundreds of my properties on behalf of my clients, both coming and going.
Yes, sir.
And I trust you because you do what?
Well, I'm a working general contractor, and so I have basically approximately 30 years professional experience in most of the building trades. I may not be an expert in all of them, but I got enough experience to have a well-rounded view.
Okay, but some of the inspectors may not have that background.
You'll be surprised how many do not.
Explain to me what it takes to be an inspector.
In the state of California, it does not take very much. I would say a large number of the majority of inspectors out there are absolutely inexperienced, have no building experience whatsoever. You know, they used to be tire salesmen or something in their former life. They took a course, they got certified, and they're an inspector. They join one of the professional associations such as ASHI or CREA, the California Real Estate Inspection Association, and they pay the fee, and guess what? They're an inspector, and it doesn't mean much.
Okay. I've dealt with a lot of CREA and ASHI members, and I have generally a high regard. But basically what you're saying is that there's no license requirements, and so somebody can get into the inspection business with a business card.
Absolutely. And I want to put that forward also. There are a lot of really good inspectors out there, and there are a lot of really bad ones too. So,
but what do the good ones need to know?
The good ones need to, the best thing that they can do is the willingness to crawl under that house or to crawl into that attic, because that's where all the good stuff is.
So do the property owners usually crawl into the attic and under the house?
Absolutely not.
So when my investors, the property buyers, are preparing to buy a property, any kind of property, whether commercial or multi-res or single-family portfolios, can they really trust what a seller has to say to them?
No, absolutely not. And, I would say the majority of times the sellers are not trying to pull something over. Generally speaking, they don't know what's going on under the house. They're not trained plumbers or electricians, and they don't know if there's a leak going on because it's under the house.
So what have you found that kind of messes with your brain?
Oh God, I so much stuff such as, raw sewage, leaking pipes, standing water, sinking foundation, rats, animals living under the house, a lot of really fun stuff.
So the animals, they're non-paying residents.
Non-paying, but they own it.
Yep. And how do you handle evictions of animals?
You call the exterminator.
Yeah, or animal control.
Or animal control, yes.
Okay, and have we had experience with those things?
Yes, we have. Matter of fact, it's a lot of times I'll go up to a house on a raised foundation, I'll see the covers off, and I just know that when I go under, I'm probably going to run into Pepe Le Pew or somebody like that.
Well, I went under an apartment building and I found a cable guy who'd probably been no. So you find all kinds of great stuff, huh?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay, so we want to reduce risk for portfolios. How do we do that via inspection?
Well, first of all, get a quality inspection by I would say, an inspector that has been around quite a while and that has a master inspector, if you will. Has been done, at least 500 fee-paid inspections. Referrals are really good.
Okay, and you're one of those.
I would like to think so.
Oh, yeah. And you operate National 1000 inspections, and you can be reached at what phone number?
626-255-4833.
So if you want a truly professional inspector, you can go on the website for National 1000?
Shawn Spurney.
Shawn Spurney.
Yeah.
Okay.
National 1000 propertyinspection.com. Really a long...
Okay, let's have that phone number again instead.
626-255-4833.
So you said that was 626?
626-255-4833.
Okay, so if you're listening to this and you didn't catch that, you can always go back and grab it on podcast by checking in with www.kabc.com and check our podcast. Most homeowners don't understand risk management, but you handle inspections for portfolios that consist of a lot more than houses. What else do you inspect?
I inspect, commercial buildings, industrial buildings of all types, and especially apartment buildings. And I think apartment buildings probably hold the greatest amount of liability for an investor.
Okay.
Because you're dealing with a lot of times older buildings built to older standards. Loose handrails, missing handrails, broken concrete, loose steps.
Okay, but do you go and do these inspections as a deal killer, or are you just trying to inform?
Oh, absolutely, just trying to inform. There's a tendency on some of the I'm going to call them inexperienced inspectors to just go right for the refer this out for a complete evaluation by a plumber because you have a dripping faucet. That just shows that they want to remove all the liability from themselves instead of doing a thorough inspection.
Well, that's not portfolio risk management. That's inspector risk management.
Well, yes, it is. But, it doesn't work out in the best interest of the client.
Okay, so let's look at this from the big picture.
Mm-hmm.
As a contractor who does inspections, as a professional inspector who also has a lot of contracting work, when you're there on the property, you look at it and you can look at and get a sense for the buyer and understand what will probably scare the life out of them, and you can give them an approximation of what it's going to cost to put it right?
Yeah, I try to be very careful about that. Of course, I cannot work on
separation of church and state.
But
no conflict of interest.
No conflict, and I always make sure that they know that, and I'm unwilling to cross that boundary because it's just you get in the middle of a negotiation, and you just don't want to be in the middle of that.
Well, Shawn Spurney, National 1000 Inspections.